I know. Somebody push Jean's wheelie chair. Is this better? We've got, is it working? All right, come on in, friends from Journey's End, come on in. There's somebody way down the hall, but I have my reading glasses on, so I can't see who it is. Thank you so much, everyone who has joined us tonight. It is Fourth Friday, so thank you, M&T Bank, for being a longtime supporter of the culturals and the arts here in Western New York, but especially for Buffalo Art Studios. It is Fourth Friday, and for those of you that are longtime friends at Buffalo Art Studios, that is our commitment, is to do something special on the fourth Friday of the month, and M&T Bank supports us. So thank you all for coming out. Come on in, come on in, come on in. So I am very honored to be here. This is our final project in our 2022-23 National Endowment for the Arts project. And the title is Displacement, Reclaiming Place, Space, and Memory. And for those of you that had the opportunity to read the statement from Sadia, it makes a lot of sense why this exhibition and this project would be part of a bigger project, looking at the ways in which individuals and communities are displaced and have to fight for a place within our larger cultural scheme and within even their own definition of self, to be accepted as they define themselves within a larger framework. So this has been an important year for Buffalo Art Studios. We've returned to fully in person, so thank you all for being here. And one of the great things that happened this year as we returned to in-person programming is we were able to bring in an artist who hails from Columbus-ish, Brooklyn-ish, many time zones, as I think many academics do these days as they travel around. Sadia's been here for 10 days. Much of the work in this exhibition was made here, at least in some part, on site. The piece at the end was made in conjunction and collaboration with Journey's End, a longtime friend of Buffalo Art Studios. So this is really exciting. And those of you that have come to our events in the past, you know that we don't do a true artist talk. It's just 5 or 6 minutes, and we like to call it an artist introduction, because we really encourage conversations here. So once again, thank you to Sadia for being just a tremendous part of our community. Thank you to M&T Bank. Thank you to the National Endowment for the Arts, the Cameron and Jane Baird Foundation, and the New York State Council for the Arts, the Community Foundation, and the Oshai Foundation. Those are our biggest funders of our exhibition programs. So I'm going to turn it over to Sadia, and once you know who Sadia is after this 5 or 6 minutes, if you have other things you want to talk about, please, please, please come on up and engage with them, engage with this amazing artwork, and just join into the conversation. So thank you. I'm going to hand it over, back out.
All right. Hello, hello everyone. I'm going to face this way, but if you want to move over here, that would be great. But you don't have to, no pressure. Thank you so much. It's so great to see faces that I actually know within the 10 days that I've been here. I want to thank, the Buffalo Art Studio, Alma and Shirley and Lauren and Sydney, who have been so wonderful to work with and hang around with. And of course, Jane and also Zainab, who had introduced me to the Buffalo Art Studio. I'm going to hold this a little closer. And so I just want to talk very briefly about the work. This is a project that I have been meditating on for quite some time. It, lives within my body, and so just within maybe 3 or 4 years, it has finally turned into material. And so it was introduced when I had worked with the University of Santa Barbara, and I had worked with them on kind of figuring out, what was I trying to say? And then it kind of went into the Wexner Center for the Arts. I worked with them, and there's a show up right now that you can see images on online. That show is up until July, and now this iteration I'm so grateful for, because It also makes me think about the material even further and also in real time. So some of the works that are in this space is this wall drawing that obviously I had done in the space within the 10 days that I was here. There's also works on canvas, works on paper, there's works on wood panels, and then if you turn the corner, there's also I guess like a time-lapse animation installation. I don't know what it's called yet, but I'm not fitting myself in those boxes. Around the corner, and there's also a sculpture. And then, of course, there was a collaboration that I had done with Journey's End and Ramp right here in Buffalo. And so the theme of the, thing that I was thinking about for the past 4 years, and I think I will take to my grave, and within, working within my siloed studio and also within, collaboration with people and communities and, whoever else wants to listen to me, is about, it's taken from and following my own family's history of my father's family being displaced from an area off the Indus River, which is in Pakistan, in the 60s and 70s when a hydroelectric dam had to be built. And I say had in italicized. And so, that dam had displaced not only my father's village, but it also displaced 180 communities. And so I got to go to that area in last March. So it's been a full year to reflect on that visit. And when I went to that area, got on a boat, which is not, it was in an area that was at the time when the water is so low that you can kind of see the clay formations on the ground. You can see cemeteries upturned. So in Pakistan, similarly to New Orleans, how the graves are above ground and covered in cement in much of flood zones. Those cemeteries were upturned, and then also within the winter time, the water is so low that you can also see peaks of shrines and mosques. And so I went just on the Indus River, on a reservoir, very calm reservoir for 2 hours, and then our motorboat got stuck, and it got stuck in clay and silt. And so the ecosystem of that entire area has completely, turned. Of course, the people were displaced. They were displaced in an area that is quite arid. And so this loss and this grief is something that I have been focusing on in my entire 20 years making, but in the last 4 years, it has kind of, solidified. And so when I make my work, I use stencils, kind of evoking that loss and also the repetition, because the story is being repeated over and over again. You probably know, people that have been displaced because of modernity as I'm speaking. And so I'd love to, hear those stories. And I think I'm going to stop there. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Come talk to me one-on-one or in a group. I don't know. What should we do? There's a big group. Oh yeah, those pieces. Yeah, those are super colorful pieces for me, because I often work in black and white. So those pieces are, I was thinking about the Jupiter's moons, and this is kind of woo-woo right now. So I was thinking about the Jupiter's moons because there was a moment last year where we could see Jupiter, and in the sky, we could just see it bright lit. And I was just looking at, Jupiter and, trying to learn more about it, like why is it up there? Why can I see it? But learned that several of the 60 to 90 moons have been discovered. And so I was thinking about, what are the things that are discovered and what are the things that are explored? What are the things that we could see? What are the things that we cannot see or are invisible? And so that's when, those works on paper were made, and I was making them with materials that I was thinking about, with the lost. So I was thinking about rust, I was thinking about clay, also extractive materials like gold and silver, and then, dirt. And so you see all of those materials on there. But thanks for that question. Yes, Julie. Yeah, I make the rust. So one of the things that Shirley and I talked about was the element of time and waiting. And so we talked a lot about time over time. And so some of the things that I do is that I, work on a material, an element of a material, and then I just let it sit. And I come back and I kind of, care for it or look at it. And so the rust also was something that I had made, like you see in one of these Jupiter moon drawings where I have laid out rebar and just doused it with water. And so it just sit for months at a time. And I used rebar because I was thinking about the dam, and so the bones, that dam, which is called the Torbella Dam, it's majority of it is made of cement, and so just thinking about the bones of that structure is, rebar, and so that's how that material came in. One-on-one is great, so thank you so much.
And before I let you go, we have this is our first really an exciting addition to the Fourth Fridays at Tri-Main is Squeaky Wheel. For those of you that don't know, Squeaky Wheel Media Center moved 2 floors almost directly below us, and it is very exciting because they are friends artistically, but also deep and dear friends personally. Zainab Salih, the executive director, is here. I saw Caroline Doherty, the education director. Akram was up earlier. I saw Mark. So this has been a wonderful collaboration, and we are really trying to build on this idea that it is Fourth Friday, not just at Buffalo Art Studio, but at Tri-Main. So I want to thank you all. Stay and enjoy, speak with Sadia, but also know that right down the stairs, right outside the door to our left, you'll see lots of signs. 2 floors down, you will find Squeaky Wheel. It's easier than walking all the way to the elevator, going down and walking all the way back. So we are really excited, and we have an artist talk at 7, right? So there will be an artist talk also at Squeaky Wheel at 7 o'clock. So thank you all for coming. Thank you M&T Bank for supporting us all. Thank you National Endowment for the Arts for supporting this big project. NISCA, Oshai, and the Cameron and Jane Baird Foundation. Thank you all so much. Have a drink, have some snack. We'll see you again soon.